Hello and welcome to this session on debugging your Python application. Once you've written your application and you've run it, you may come into a situation where you need to understand better what exactly is going on because it's not operating as you expect it. That is what we call debugging, and there are various ways to perform debugging functions with Python. The simplest way is simply to put print statements inside your code to print out the state of various variables that you are interested in. In the example shown here, within the read devices function, we will print the file name that we are attempting to read. Once we've read that information, we will print out the list into which we've read that information. This will allow us to compare the data that we thought we read with the data that we ended up with. Another way that is way more advanced than print statements would be to use a debugger. A debugger allows you to step through code a line at a time and to examine variables in order to understand exactly what is going on in the code. The debugger for Python is called PDB, and you execute it by just running the command PDB and providing the name of the application that you are running. One nice thing about the debugger is that you do not need to change your code at all. Compare that to a print statement where you need to actually change the code that you are running. The debugger does allow you to go line by line and execute your code and examine the data. There are a number of Python debugger commands, including next to go to the next line, step to go to the next line but to step into functions that you're calling, return to return from functions, list to see the lines of code that are around where you are stopped at, and to set breakpoints. Using the Python debugger allows you to do the following commands. Step commands. You can step using n, which goes to the next line of code. If it is executing a function, it will not go into the function. The S command, which actually stands for step, will step you into a function if a function exists on that line of code. You can continue your execution of your application by typing the C command. The program will then run until the next breakpoint. When you are broken at a particular piece of code and you want to understand what are the lines of code that surround it, you can use the L command in order to list the surrounding code. You can get a stack trace, that is the list of all the functions that have been called using the where command. And if you'd like to set breakpoints, you can use the B command, and if you want to clear breakpoints, you can use the clear command. For more advanced applications, you may be interested in using an integrated development environment, or IDE. The nice thing about these environments is they allow you to write code, understand whether your syntax has been entered correctly, and to run and debug your code. One nice thing, as you can see in the picture, your keywords and such will be highlighted with different colors, so it's easy to distinguish particular pieces of Python code, whether it be comments, strings, functions, calls, etc. Particularly popular IDEs include PyDev, which is a plugin for the Eclipse IDE, as well as PyCharm.